Hi, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're enjoying the series of videos so far. Now today we're going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that you can make as a sales manager and more importantly how you can fix them. So we're going to kick off with micromanaging versus being empowering. So one of the things that you see a lot over businesses is that sales managers will tend to come out, they'll kind of get overly involved, not trust their team and micromanage. Now, this is one of the worst things that you can do as a sales manager. It's your job to build trust within your team. It's to empower your team to behave and perform exactly how they would operate if you were there, as if you were not there. So it's basically equipping the team with all the correct tools, giving honest, open feedback like we talked about in the last video, up-to-date live coaching, and basically making sure that your team are equipped with all the skills that they need when you're not there. So then even when you are there, you're not actually getting involved then with basically micromanaging. And you know, for the team, it's just going to give them kind of doubt in the abilities that they have. It's going to disempower them, I would say, is probably the right kind of terminology. And you know, as a sales manager, you want to be seen as a leader to empower your team and push them forward. Now, one of the other things I see quite often is sales managers not setting clear targets for their staff. Now, you know, it's really important that we are open and honest with the team. Look, you need to achieve X, and as long as we've given all of the tools, we've given the training, we're giving live coaching, as I would call it. Now, live coaching, just go on a tangent. An example of that would be where, you know, you've got a sales meeting, you're doing call outs, you're trying to make as many appointments as you can. Now, you don't want to be sat kind of in the corner out of the way. You want to be listening. You want to be listening, digesting all of the things that are said and giving live, up-to-date coaching and feedback to your team so they can implement it there and then and attack and get those appointments. Now, depending on what kind of industry that you're in, some might be telesales. Hopefully a lot of you here could be sales reps where you're actually having these one-to-one conversations with people. Now, what data tells us is that for every appointment that we make face-to-face, we're going to close circa 50% of those people. So, you know, that kind of live coaching and feedback is extremely important, because what we don't want to be doing is making those phone calls and then saying the wrong thing, not quite getting to where the customer needs to be to then say, right, I'm going to come in for an appointment. I'm going to have a sit down and then talk to a sales executive. Now, I suppose going on a tangent there, but going back to the clear targets. So clear targets not only set a standard, they also set a line in the sand, I suppose. So when targets aren't achieved, you can get to the root cause as to why that is happening, and then you know you can lead, coach, develop. Put time aside for somebody and actually find out why they're not achieving those targets. Because, you know, I'd like to kind of convey over that it's not always skin deep as to somebody's performance. Sometimes there is things going on in the background that people don't tend to think about, or they overlook. So it's really important, as I said, to kind of have open, honest conversations with people and just basically make sure, as I said, you're a good human leader. You understand your team, what makes them tick. You know, their emotions, not just that, you know, they're looking for a number on a bit of paper. So we need to make sure we're hitting those targets. And if we're not hitting those targets, then we need to formulate a plan then how we are going to get your team to achieve those targets. Hopefully my cat won't have interrupted that too much. So one of the other habits that you don't want to do is neglecting training. Something like training neglect is just not something that we want. You know, in any business, you need to make sure that you give your team the right skills and tools to enable them to go out, empower them to close sales. Now, what does that look like? Does that look like we're doing weekly quizzes? Does it look like we're listening or live listening to phone calls and giving live coaching as somebody talks to a customer, or even when they come off the phone, we give a kind of almost a debrief. So when they go into the next customer, they've kind of almost got an action plan in their mind so that they can go straight in and implement that new knowledge that they've just gained. Are we going through our one-to-ones? We're using our radical candor. We're giving honest, open feedback, which is going to be meaningful to that individual. There are so many different training techniques and tools that you can use in your arsenal to forward somebody's development. Now, I've spoken about a few there. However, I suppose the list is endless. You might encourage some people to listen to audiobooks in their spare time to kind of forward their development. Some people really like listening to, hopefully as you are, coaching videos online and implementing kind of best practice. Some people struggle with confidence and, sitting down, having a one-to-one with somebody in a chat, in almost a role play scenario, you can actually really, really elevate somebody's confidence and make sure that they are going out, speaking with passion and confidence, which a lot of new people to sales really struggle with that. They don't want to talk to customers, or they pick up the phone and they get nervous, or they get sidetracked or muddled. Now, one of the biggest things you can do, depending on your industry, or I'd say any industry actually, is product knowledge. So product knowledge is the grail of everything, I would say. Once you've got your product knowledge nailed, everything that you do when you speak to somebody, you enter into dialogue and you're trying to close that sale, if you're speaking with conviction and confidence, then you are going to stand the best chance of closing that sale. And ultimately, that is what we're looking for. And finally, one of the biggest ones I see is a failing to adapt to the market. Now, my industry is automotive, my background. Now, in my world, if you've got 10 cars all at a very, very similar price, and yours is more, you can imagine we just don't get inquiries on that car. So you need to move with the times. If something is priced competitively, you need to price it competitively. Don't be left behind the curve. And something I'm going to talk about in one of my next videos is AI. A lot of people out there are going to go, right, I'm scared of AI. I don't want to use it within my day-to-day business, or, I don't see how it's going to benefit me. Now, AI, again, I can't emphasize enough, is one of the best tools I've used in my job to allow me to take those tasks, which ordinarily would take me hours of time, painstaking time creating documents, creating Excel sheets, replying back to long emails. You can basically use something like ChatGPT to condense everything for you, give you like a synopsis of, or a summary rather, of what has been said. An example would be customer complaints. Somebody complains, you can bang it into ChatGPT. You can ask it to go back to a customer in UK English or US English, wherever my viewers are from. And it will put together a really, 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 really well written document, which, I'm always going to say you need to proofread it very quickly before you send it. But as long as you give it the guidance of where you want it to go, in my experience, it's second to none. I would encourage any business with, even a small to medium or large workforce. You really need to get this into your business, into your team. You can even actually use it at the moment for doing role play. Now, some execs really, really struggle with sitting down, having a one-to-one conversation with somebody and pretending to act, which what role play is. Some do it better than others, mind you. But if somebody is lacking confidence and they want to build those skills, get into ChatGPT, kind of set the parameters of what you want, and you can have an open conversation with your laptop, your phone, and it will play along. And if I'm honest, it does a very, very, very good job. So being up to speed on latest technology, how tools, AI tools, can make your life easier. And now if you'd like to see more kind of in-depth AI video, it's something I am going to be talking about and doing. So please, please, please do stick around for that. If you've enjoyed the video today, please do like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And please comment if you're enjoying these videos or if there's anything you'd like to see different. Now, I'm going to sign off here. So again, thank you so much for your time, and any questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you.